Welcome back. I'm Rachel Neighbors from Neighbors Group and Solo401k.com. In today's video, we are going to do a training on how to complete your beneficiary designation form. The beneficiary designation form can be found on your Solo401k dashboard in a couple of places. It's located in your 401k plan signature pages, and it's located in the zip file of your Solo 401k plan and trust. I've got the signature pages open here, so let's go ahead and go through the beneficiary designation form section by section. Now first, before we begin, I do want to make a note that if you and your spouse are both participating in the Solo 401k plan, it's a good idea to print and complete this form twice, one for each of you. You each have your own assets as participants in the Solo 401k plan, so it's important that you each complete a beneficiary designation form. The first part to complete here is the employee information. Pretty straightforward. Put in your name, your social security number, your address, your birth date, and your citizenship status. For your plan number, you can find this information on page 3 of your adoption agreement, which I have pulled up here. And you can see right here in number 5, it says 3-digit plan number. 001. So here on the beneficiary designation form for plan number, you'll input 001. Now just so you know how I got there, from your 401k dashboard, I downloaded the 401k plan and trust. This is a zip file. When I unzip the file, it will look like this, and you'll have an entire list of your documents. I opened up the adoption agreement, and on page 3 of the adoption agreement, it says right here, 3-digit plan number 001. So that's what we're going to put right here in this section. In part 2, you're going to designate your beneficiary. Our form allows you to designate both multiple primary and contingent beneficiaries. The primary beneficiary is who will receive your assets in the case of your passing. A contingent beneficiary is who receives the assets if the primary beneficiary has already passed away. For many families, what happens is a spouse will be listed as a primary beneficiary, and the heirs, the children, are listed as contingent beneficiaries. You can designate this as a brand new beneficiary. That's probably what most of you will be doing for the first time. But if you're rewatching this training video and you're updating your beneficiary, then you'll check this little box for change. If you are changing the beneficiary, make sure that your estate planner, your legal counsel, whoever is in charge of your estate planning information has a copy of this primary beneficiary, the beneficiary designation form on file. What some of our clients do is also upload a signed copy to the 401k dashboard. So input the name, social security number, address, relationship, and percentage of the primary beneficiary. And you can have multiple primary beneficiaries. So maybe your spouse is 50%, and if both of your children, you have 2 children, they might be 25-25. You want to make sure these percentages add up to 100%. It is totally fine to just have one primary beneficiary, or you can list more. Contingent beneficiaries are who receive the assets if there are no living primary beneficiaries. So in this instance, you can list numerous contingent beneficiaries, and that percentage should add up to 100% as well. On page 3, part 3, you will sign as the participant, since this is for your assets. If your spouse is completing this form for their assets, then the spouse would sign as the participant, and you'll need to denote your marital status. In part 4, your spouse needs to sign only if they are waiving their right to receive benefits as your spouse. If you are listing your spouse as your primary beneficiary, then it's not generally required that the spouse need to sign this section. If you are married and you list someone other than your spouse, then you do want to have this signed, and it needs to be signed in front of a notary. If you are unmarried, then this notary is not required, because this is only for waiving spousal consent. If you are married and your spouse is the primary beneficiary, this form does not require notarization. If you are married and you are choosing someone other than your spouse as the primary beneficiary, your spouse needs to sign in part 4, and you need to have this notarized. And then you'll always want to sign in part 5 because you are the plan administrator. I hope this video will be helpful for you to complete your beneficiary designation form, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.